Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. Today we're talking about Proverbs chapter 3, verse 35. And here's what it says. The wise inherit honor, but fools are put to shame. Let's do that one more time. The wise inherit honor, but fools are put to shame. It's easy to know which we want when we think about that, right? Do you want honor or do you want shame? I never met anyone who sincerely desired shame, and I never met anyone who thought honor was a bad thing when they received it. Sometimes it's a humbling thing, but I don't think anybody finds honor to be negative when they receive it. So the verse is a really good warning, and I could sit here for hours and just recount to you the ways that I have lived that out, that I've been foolish in my life and that it has brought me shame. I could tell the story. The principle is true, I know, because I have lived it. But the verse is also a really good promise, and it shows that we have a map toward honor, and that is to be wise. Still, the verse begs for definitions, doesn't it? Am I the only one who wants to be very clear? What is a fool? What's the definition of a fool? What's the definition of the wise? And I thought that I would just show you a couple of verses about each here today and just make it right simple. But here's what I found as I researched it. It's not really possible to do it that briefly. Both concepts are deep and wide. And so if you're as interested as I am in this, just do what I'm doing. I Googled two things. The first is I Googled biblical definition of a fool and did some reading about what I found there, a lot of scriptures. And then I Googled biblical definition of wisdom and spent some time reading on that. You can read for about 20 minutes and you can get some pretty solid notions of the parameters of what a fool is and of what wisdom is. You can read a lot longer than that. You can read for hours if you so desire, if you have the time, if you're inclined. So I'm going to be doing that this week further. I started it to prepare for you, but I'm going to just keep pushing into that and read more about what the Bible says about the fool and what the Bible says about wisdom. I think that's what we're called to do as believers, that we're not just called to be, have someone spoon feed us 5 minutes of information and get on with our day separate from God. I think we're called to follow through by studying on our own. So today's challenge is for you to follow through and study and see what are the differences between the fool and the wise ones. So that's my challenge to you this week. Before we go, let's read through the verse 3 more times to start to get it in our head as usual. So here we go. The wise inherit honor, but fools are put to shame. The wise inherit honor, but fools are put to shame. And one more time. The wise inherit honor, but fools are put to shame. As you consider these things, may you gain wisdom. See you next week.